Now, this is a video that comes to you with literally no outline or preparation. I'm just here to spill my thoughts and share some perspectives. And although it's me doing all the talking, I do feel like it's going to kind of be a two-sided conversation, because I know what I'm about to say you'll either understand, agree with, or appreciate in some respects. So maybe this is like group therapy, which a lot of us need right now, because today, when I woke up, when you did too, you probably found out that Lahaina was burning overnight, and it didn't look good. And as daylight hit today, we all came to the realization that Lahaina is basically gone. And I say Lahaina is gone. It's not just the parts that tourists know and understand and appreciate. It's not just Front Street and the stores and shops and restaurants and places to go and the things to do there or the entertainment to be had. I'm talking about the neighborhoods where locals work, and more importantly, where they live. And that's the true tragedy here. And the hard part to really grasp is so many people from the mainland and other places, they go visit Maui. They go visit Lahaina to get away from reality, to, get a taste of paradise. And now they're dealing with something that a lot of people, and I can relate to this here in California and the west of the continental United States, wildfires are a big deal. Not just the fire, but the wind conditions and how fast it spreads and how fast an entire community is gone. It truly is unbelievable. And I want to make sure that, I, as a guest, and fortunately a frequent guest, I hold Lahaina near and dear to my heart. I would say at least 30 plus years of visiting there. And memories and how it's not changed. And it's like a place that's timeless. I think at one point it had been about a 10-year gap between visits, and it felt like no time had passed. I could kind of close my eyes right now and walk around and to think and to realize that none of that actually still is there as of today. And it was yesterday, and it was 3 days ago, 3 weeks ago, 3 months ago, 3 years ago. And now it's like instantly not. But I want to make sure I get the priorities right here. This is me from a couple thousand miles away feeling this way. How about the people who call it home? The last I saw, there were 6 lives lost. That's obviously the most important thing. The fact that anybody lost their life in a fire like this is the number one most important takeaway. And I fear that number may have gone up since I last saw it. No number is going to make you feel good. I know some people will say, well, it could have been worse, and maybe that is a way to look at it. I feel bad for anybody that lost somebody in this or still can't find somebody because of this. So lives lost is at the top. History lost, things you can't replace. I know a lot of people talk about the banyan tree. Who could ever, if you've been there and you've seen it, who could ever forget it? Or just some of the historic buildings that have been there well before our lifetime, well before our generation. Things that cannot really be replaced. I get it. And then, I don't want to say last, but it's definitely not least, properties, businesses, homes, livelihoods, careers, things that are now in jeopardy or have a ton of effort required to rebuild and replace. Things that can be replaced, but oh boy, it's not going to be easy. Months and years of going through that process. By the way, I'm wearing this shirt today, which is one I wear all the time. I literally purchased this 10 years ago or so, right on Front Street in Lahaina. And so I kind of spin forward to, everybody's going through this tragedy and everybody's paying attention to this right now on social media and the videos. And of course I was scrolling quite crazy earlier. Just trying to just get a grasp on what happened here, and is it really as bad as I imagine it could be? And it does look like it is that case. Most of Lahaina, from the ocean, the shore, right up the hill, was pretty wiped out from what I could see. But I spin it forward to think about the years of inconvenience and effort, and the challenge of rebuilding anywhere is tough, but rebuilding on an island with supplies, and do they have enough of a workforce to do this? I know even fighting the fires was difficult. They're in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. It's a little bit different to logistically put out a fire or rebuild a town as it might be here on the continental United States. I would hope to think that Lahaina is an area of interest to so many people, and that they have spread their kindness, they've spread their aloha for so many years, that there are right now so many people attached to wanting to make a difference, to rebuild, and to help them get back to where they were. I would hope that that's the case. And they're fortunate maybe because they have been such a good host over all these decades. And so I do hope a lot of people support them. I certainly hope it's not complicated. Again, when you have this rebuild process, not to get too far ahead, but you don't know how it goes, and everybody's got a different idea and interest. Wouldn't it be spectacular if it just was like it used to be? But that's kind of the realization here. Nothing is ever like it used to be when it has to start from scratch. But I think the biggest takeaway is I hope they get the resources and the support they need to do what they need to do. It takes a long time to really process how one unexpected day and overnight is going to change lives here for a decade. This is a big deal. And I guess it also is a reminder that, I said before, this has happened other places. It has happened in Northern California. Those fires in Santa Rosa from a handful of years ago. I had the opportunity to tour some of the remains and the leftovers of that fire that you drive through a neighborhood, and the only way you know it was a neighborhood is because you see the streets set up to facilitate houses and light poles and stop signs, but there were no houses. All there were typically metal frames that kind of support the garage door structure. That's it. And chimneys and maybe some steel mailboxes, but that's it. The realization of what has happened here, it's we see it, we understand it. I know we'll feel bad today, and I'm not trying to bring you down for weeks or months, but I also want you to understand that a lot of people will move on from this because it's just their vacation spot, but the people who live here, they can't. And they would probably want to. They never wanted to be in this spot in the first place, but this is going to be a process that nobody signs up for, but they're going to have to fight through. And also I hope, and I would say this too, I realize the economy side of this, because so many people that visit Maui and the western side, they go stay in Kaanapali or Kapalua or down south at Kihei. But so many people, no matter where they stay, they go visit Lahaina. Lahaina is an economic engine to the state of Hawaii, but also the island of Maui. And they're going to miss out on however long this takes. They kind of need to act quickly to get back to where they should be. And I don't want to think about this stuff now. Again, what I said first matters most. Lives, historical things, some elements of property and homes, taking care of people who lost literally everything with no time to prepare. but I also realized that figuring out, what's next and how to get them back stable again, because Lahaina was this was a heart of the island, truly, and still is. Let's not talk about it past tense like that. They'll figure it out. I just want to make sure that they know a lot of people are with them. I'll leave it with this. It's a reminder to all of us that when you have the opportunity to do something or you're doing something, like to really soak it in. It's crazy to me to think that I walked Front Street, for example, however many times in life, and the last time I did it was the last time it'll ever have been like that. And how would I have known that? It was 6 years ago, might have been the last visit. How would I have known that? I wouldn't have. I guess there's always that chance, but it's a reminder that when you are somewhere you want to be, or you're in a life moment, not even a vacation, just a life moment, to really soak it in and to make sure that you do not forget it and understand it and appreciate it in the moment. And that's just me saying that as a guest and a visitor. Imagine if this is your work or your home or your livelihood or all the above. So, to everybody in Lahaina, we're thinking about you. We've always appreciated you. And you've got a lot more people on your side than you even know.